Good evening, everybody. Welcome again to my little bench. Um, Tonight, I will be testing some more hardware. I really wanted to do some more hardware testing, so let's get into that real quick. Before we start, next week is one of my all-time. This is going to be, hopefully, if it turns out well, one of my favorite streams, the one I'm really looking forward to. It's going to be the ultimate 486 or Soccer 3 Showdown. I've got a lot of Soccer 3 CPUs, and I really want to pit them against each other, especially the final evolutions of the Soccer 3 CPUs, which are the AMD 5x86 P75 and the Intel Pentium Overdrive 83 MHz. But yeah, that's something for next week. I really wanted to take a little bit more time to prepare that one. So right now we'll be testing some other hardware I still have lying around. I've got some slot 1 CPUs I want to test. I want to, well, to make it a bit more fun, I'm going to try and put them up against each other in a couple of benchmarks, see if it really matters. And after that, if there's still time, there's a bunch of PCI graphics cards I want to test. And if there's still more time after that, we can. I have got my hands on several socket A boards, socket A AMD Athlon XP boards, which still need some testing to see if they actually work. So that's for maybe the end of the stream if there's still time. But let's get started with the slot 1 testing. I've got the system already running. Let me put up some music in the background. And let's move over to the normal scene. Which one is it again? That's the one. As you can see here, system is already running. It's a slot 1 CPU in there, one module of SD RAM PC133. There's a Matrox Millennium 2 card, a studio card. I've inserted a Sound Blaster live, but it fails to detect it, so I'm not sure what's going on here. The card should be good. And at the end, you just can't see it. Over there is my Voodoo2 card, which luckily has revived again. So we're doing some 3DFX glide benchmarks. I've got Windows 98 installed, Windows 98 Special Edition, second edition, I must say. And there's a couple of benchmarks I have prepared, and we will be running. At first, we will test them with the current Pentium III 450 Katmai. I also have a 500 and a Katmai and a 600 Coppermine slot 1 CPU. I've got a couple of more 500 MHz Katmais, but they should be tested, but I don't think they add much to the stream if we test them right now, so let's not do that. I actually made a little scene with some bench results we could put in there, but let's go over here first. As you can see, the board is actually a dual option board. It has a slot 1 CPU option and also has a socket 370 CPU option. So we could at the end also test the socket 370 CPU, see what difference that makes in all the benchmarks. But yeah, let's move over to Windows 98, shall we? Capturing these Windows screens isn't looking all that pretty on my current setup, so eventually I hope to be able to afford a little bit of a better, more professional setup capture device, because right now it's as cheap as it gets, but it gets the job done so far. Oh, before we continue, let's move back to the camera scene for a bit. I've got a couple of things I want to show you. I really recently got. I've managed to get my hands on this. It's a PCI and ISA diagnostics card. So if there are post issues, it has a speaker and LEDs, 7-segment displays, which should be able to tell us what the hell is going on if systems don't boot. And I've got something that really helps me test the stuff when they're not in cases. It's a set of, let me pull them out, of plug-in switches, LEDs, and a speaker, which can just plug in the front panel connectors. So it makes it a lot easier to work with these systems when they're not mounted in a case. Well, since the Sound Blaster isn't detected, we won't have any audio during the tests, so I'll need to be talking over them a lot. I have prepared a little bit of facts to hopefully entertain you with a bit. But let's get back to the screen. Let's start off with looking at the system a bit more. Not sure if anybody remembers Windows 98. I do vaguely. Well, I've been reacquainted with it, but we still had our little control panel with all the options you expect of it. I wanted to show you a little bit of the system. 98 2nd edition. What is a genuine Intel Pentium III processor, 128 megabytes of RAM. Should suffice for everything we're doing. This is the device overview. So we have this Matrox Millennium G2 on it. We have a SVGA, emulated SVGA, because it only captures it. And the main attraction, the Voodoo2 8 megabyte card. So yeah, that's about it for Windows 98. Funny thing is, Windows 98 2nd edition comes with DirectX 6.1 normally, but this gave me all kinds of trouble with running the benchmarks, especially 3D Mark and Final Reality with the glide option, with the 3dFX glide options. So I had to install DirectX 7 to get it to work properly. GLQuake worked like a charm, so there was nothing wrong with that. But let's start with a little GLQuake benchmark for the 450 that's in there right now. One little moment. Yes. Have to check something real quick. Excuse me. There's the funky 3dFX logo. And there we have it. It is Quake. A game I put way too many hours in, especially in multiplayer death matches. I don't need to start a new game, I just need to go to the what's it called? The console, yeah. And we can do a time demo. Shall we do demo 2? Demo 2 is a bit longer than demo 1, so see what happens. This is pretty fast. I've got it running in 800 by 600 resolution because I tried it in 640 by 480 and it ended up at what's it called? About 60 FPS, which is the limit for what was it already? That's 45.8 FPS. What I was saying, it ended at 50 FPS, 60 FPS, which is the VSync limit for glide on a emulated monitor. So everything, because this is the slowest processor we're going to test, everything would be also running at 60 FPS. Let's fill out this one real quick in the bench overview. We have our 450 CPU. really have used the tabs here. Let me fix this real quick. Of course it doesn't line up properly, which is annoying. Okay, great. That doesn't work. There we go. It's supposed to line up. So in GLQuake it was, what was it? I forgot already. 45.8 frames per second. Right, let's try for a second benchmark. Let's see what 3D Mark gives us. Shall we run the entire bench? Yeah, let's do that. Should give us some time to watch everything. Let's open the bench I have already preset. My slot 1 benches should be on the Voodoo2 800 by 600 using Pentium 3 optimizations. Not looping, one time, do every test, for this one at least. Let's see how it goes, see what it does, see what kind of benches we have. Actually forgot already. Some nice race. Doing some 25 to 30 FPS. Reminds me a bit of F-Zero, but then a bit more advanced version of that. Second one, let's see what we got. It's a shooter, a bit Unreal-like, I guess. Some 25, 30 FPS. It really isn't very pretty, if you ask me. Last time I ran it, I was afraid it froze here, but it should be loading the next one right after this. Synthetic CPU speed, which should be on the background. But yeah, we've got some fun stuff in this system. The Voodoo2 is one of my favorites. It's a really nice card, and what they did with those Voodoo cards with Glide was something we never experienced before. The way it accelerated the 3D graphics was insane compared to what the normal graphics cards could do. So it really was amazing how well it worked, and what most people remember from 3D effects from Glide is the softened visuals, the anti-aliasing in a very special way. They did it before it became mainstream, and it is a very specific look that nothing really captured after that. Sometimes it felt a bit buttery, a bit greasy, but overall it was really amazing. You know what? After this, let's go run a normal Quake benchmark on the Matrox card to see the difference. So I'm going to have to be talking a lot this stream, which is going to be quite a challenge for me, I think. But especially since we will be running the same benchmark several times. I never had a slot 1 processor back in the day. I think I've skipped all the slot 1 CPUs. We started off with a 486, a DX40, I believe. After that, I got the Pentium K62, I think. And after that, it was either AMD all the way, or I might have had a Pentium 3 socket 370, or Celeron maybe, more likely, because I wasn't all that wealthy back then. Still I'm not, but yeah. After that, I really don't remember. Probably some Pentium 4. I think I stuck on that for quite a while. Left the PC gaming for a bit after that, and then got back. I think with the i7 4790 I still have lying around here. My 12-year-old plays Minecraft on that. Yeah, our next bench is going to be a little shorter because this is taking quite a bit too long, actually. It feels kind of weird talking to nobody all the time, but well, that is what I want to do. So if there's nobody to watch me, I shouldn't really care. Voodoo2 actually, funny thing, were the first cards to actually coin the SLI term. And back then, it actually, well, there we go. Since we're actually measuring the CPU, let's only note the CPU 3D marks, which is 4680. Let's put them into the bench overview. 3D mark is 4680. For the 450. As we're saying, SLI, yeah. Voodoo SLI was actually was a different term than the NVIDIA SLI, which stands for Scan Line Interleave, as far as I can tell. And for Voodoo, it meant Voodoo it was the Scan Line Interleave. And NVIDIA actually called it Scalable Link Interface. Yeah, that's what it was. So we have done 3D Mark. We have done our little Quake. Let's do a reference Quake run for. Let's look up using the normal Quake. Yeah, that's okay. We don't need sound. We don't need ACD. Let's put it on 800 by 600. See what happens. Probably runs like shit. Yes, it does. But yeah, it's a proper comparison to see how well the Voodoo2 actually did, and the Voodoo1 before that. Quake, of course, being one of the first real 3D games, first-person shooters, whereas the built-in games were Doom were all using sprites and billboarded sprites for enemies. Quake really use 3D models for the enemies, which made quite a difference in performance, but also in visuals, because they were much more naturally animated, and there was a collision with enemies, which made quite a difference in how you played it. So let's see how it turned out. Oh, wait, where did it didn't show me the frames per second. Okay, that's interesting. It didn't show it. Well, that's not really helpful, is it? Let's shut it down now. It's not sure why it didn't, but yes, thank you. These texts back in the games. Why did you quit from the registered version of Quake? The scary monsters frighten you? Let's run the final reality demo, or benchmark, to finish up our first CPU. And then we can see what happens if we change our CPUs. This was recommended to me. I have never run this before myself, so it's a bit of a different thing than what I am used to. We have to select the direct 3D external accelerator. Let's then run it, see what happens. As you can see, it's a Remedy Entertainment product, so we'll see Max Payne come by somewhere in this demo, this bench. This is not to be confused with Second Reality, which was an awesome demo by the Future Crew, but it was way older than this. This is really a benchmark tool. Second Reality is a demo as used in the demo scene back in the day, fully programmed in I don't know what language actually. We can find that out. Second Reality. It's considered to be one of the best demos. Yeah, that it is. Can't really find what they used to code it in. But it was an awesome thing. We could watch it next week when we do the MS-DOS. But yeah, in here you can see a lot of funky graphics and a description. What it's actually trying to show. Here you can also see the very distinctive Voodoo2 or the 3dFX Glide smoothing, where the textures are, well, often not very sharp. We've got a funky little robot walking around, pretending he's a mech warrior. Stompy. I should really get my hands on one of the old Mech Warrior games. I really love playing those. I also really enjoy playing Mech Warrior 5. The Mercenaries variant. Clans is a bit less interesting to me. Don't know why. But yeah, these were weird scenes. Look, there's little friend Max. When he still had hair. Not sure what Acer Corp is a reference to. Probably something from a game. There we go. Flying around Funky City. A bit of fog being projected. Which, as you can see, is really just a flat texture hanging around halfway through the level. A bit of transparency. So this was, I think, the end, but I'm not sure. As I said, I've never run it before. Yeah, I've run a quick test run to see if it actually works before I started the stream, but I really don't remember any of this, or I never used any of this. Back in the day I was just satisfied if everything worked. I didn't really need to push it to the limit. I wasn't really into much overclocking, mainly because I didn't dare to try and well, push my hardware too far and break it, because I couldn't afford any replacement parts. That's actually something we might be able to do at the end of the stream as well. See if we can overclock one of these slot 1 CPUs. See what we can squeeze out of it. Press escape to exit. Let's do that. Use the right keyboard. See what we scored. 4.1 reality marks. It actually thinks we're running a Pentium 2, which is interesting. Let's add it to the database, shall we? 450 Voodoo2. 4.01 reality marks. Let's add it to the list. That's it for the first CPU, so let's shut down Windows, replace the CPU and see what we can do. These things actually come, or at least the ones I'm using, all come with their own fan and heatsink on the CPU, which is good. It's really not warm, so it wasn't really tested much. Because getting it out is always a bit of a tricky thing. I'm not sure why it's so stuck, but it is pretty stuck in there. Whoops, that was a bit too much force, but should be fine. We'll see. Let's find a proper one, the next one. You should be able to see, this is the 500, so we should be seeing a slight improvement in all of our benches. Let's not forget to connect the cooler. and fire it up. See what happens. See if we can actually get it to boot, because sometimes these systems really dislike the CPUs being replaced without resetting the BIOS. We might have to do that. I guess that is what is going on here. Let's shut it down and pull the battery real quick. It should be right over there. Of course it won't start without a battery. Oh, it does. Never mind. It shouldn't, but well, maybe it should. Maybe the CPU is just not working. I haven't tested these CPUs before, so we might need to try out a different 500 MHz one. I have plenty, so let's just do that. See if I can get this one removed with a little less force than the other one. Yeah, there we go. That was a bit easier. So you can go in the box. See if we can find another 500 one. Come on, focus. Yeah, it's another 500. As you can see, 512 kilobytes of cache, I think, and 100 megahertz frontside bus. See if this one does want to cooperate. If not, we'll be stuck with just a $451. This would make this a short stream. Would at least make this part of the stream a short stream. Well, now put the battery back in, see if that helps us any. These CPUs were purely BIOS configured. So there shouldn't be any jumper related issues with that. Let's remove the sound blaster just to be sure that it's not causing any issues, since it isn't really working anyway. You know what? That would be a good time to test, actually test the card I got, the diagnostics card. There's an entire manual that goes with it. Let's take a look at the little display together. It's this one. See what happens, which, if anything, shows up. Nothing so far. Nothing whatsoever. There are some LEDs lighting up on there, but I really don't know what they all mean yet. So let's grab the manual real quick. It doesn't beep. There is a speaker in the card, but it doesn't. Can't really get anything from there. Let's try the original CPU again to see if we can get that one running again. Without breaking everything. These things are tough to get out. This was the OG one, right? The 450, yeah. Just a quick test to see if we still get it to boot. If not, we'll have to switch to another motherboard, but I think Windows will be not too happy with that. Oh look, there's things happening on the display. I think it's really the CPUs. That's because this one just really starts off right away. So let's try another one. Man, this is scary stuff, removing these CPUs. So this is the working. This is the 600, I think. Yeah. We're not working, and then we've got. Was also Pentium II, but I don't think that's going to work. See about this one. This is the one without an active cooler. Wow. Isn't this fun? Righto. So much for the 500 MHz CPUs. Let me just take a very quick look at the manual. If you want to look along, you can. I'll toss the link in the chat. We actually reset the BIOS, so let me see. 450. There's actually no setting for the 450. Well, it should be running at 4.5 times 100 megahertz. There should be jumpers on there. Let's see. We will need. Well, jumper 12 and 11 should be. You should remain at 100 megahertz, so let's not change that. And we need U18. And U18 is where? All the way on the top near the socket. Wait, what? Ah, it's right over there. Okay. So, well, you can't see it because the cables are in front of it. But those jumpers are the ones. They are currently on, off, on. It should be at 5 times, which is really odd. Are we running 5 times 66? No, that would make no sense, I think. But let's see, these jumpers are over there. That's the one. Where's the other one? One is above the IDE slots. It's over. Yeah, it's there. Can't really see it, but that's jumper 11. Jumper 11 should be on for 66 and on for 100. Jumper 12 should be on 1 and 2 for 100 megahertz. And I think it is on 1 and 2. Yeah, from the top side. So we should be running at 5 times 100 megahertz like this. And that is strange because the 450 just runs. We'll know. What is going on here? Let's ask for a little help. Could also be a BIOS version. It doesn't know these CPUs. So let's try. This one doesn't support any Pentium II, so let's try the. Man, this is such a scary thing. Let's try the 600. Let's see if that does anything. Because I think I've actually had these 500 megahertz CPUs work. Yeah, stuff is happening, which is really odd. I really don't get what the hell is going on. You see, it's running at 600. Let's take a peek at the BIOS real quick. That's okay. That's all okay. Let's disable the floppy so it won't screw up. I can't actually overclock the CPU here. Doesn't look like it. Yo, champ. Good to see you, Strider. I really don't know why all these 500s aren't working in this system. They should be fine. And we can test that in a bit. Because I should have another slot, one board hanging around. Let me look it up real quick. Maybe I should even have two, but I'm not sure. Here's the one at least. So we'll test with that real quick afterwards. But let's just do the benches with this card. Uh, 128 gigabytes of DDR2. That's a lot of DDR2. How the hell did he manage that? And what was he doing with it? Let's see if we can get a faster GLQuake running. We had like 45.8 on the other one. Let's see what this one runs. It looks faster, but it should be because it's like 25% faster CPU and a different different period, different architecture. The 450 was a Katmai and this was a 46 frames per second. Okay, that was not really that much faster. Which might actually mean that Voodoo2 is actually the limiting factor here. 8 gigabyte sticks. On what? On a single motherboard? Yeah, nice. So now we're running the 600E. Don't know what the 3D Mark is yet. GLQuake was 46. What was it? Let's try it again. I forgot. I'm an idiot. Sorry. Let's do a quick vanity ban. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get all these slow one CPUs benched and tested, but so far only the 450 and the 600 are working. Go do that. I can't get. I've got 3 different 500 Katmais, and they're all not playing along. 46 it was, yeah, that's what I thought. Oh, you didn't even see it. I forgot to switch scenes. Sorry for that. Let's go give 3D Mark a run. Now let's not do all of them. I hope it will give. Well, no. That's interesting. What's it trying to do? See if we can get out of it. Capture card is not liking the video format. Oh, that was a hard reset. I'm not sure what it tried to do that and why. On the other machine it was fine, or on the other CPU it was fine, but now it doesn't want to do. Yeah, fun stuff. Wow. Okay. Something is wrong here. This is new. Let's hope it's not the Voodoo card dying on me. The Matrox is very hot. It might as well be that one. Yeah, it really isn't having fun. No, screw you, Windows. We're not doing save mode. See if this goes any better. Yeah, there we go. That's what we want to see. You could install Windows Vista like 10 times on that. Let's try and run 3D Mark again. See if it works this time. I think this is more than we saw last time. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, absolutely. Using the Voodoo2 8x6. Yeah, let's go. Should be noticeably faster than the other one. I wonder how they developed these benchmarks. They were the games they wanted to make but never made. Just decided to turn them into benchmarks. Like here's a half-made game and make a benchmark out of it. Because nobody wants it. That's a lot. Well, I thought my 46 gigs was plenty in this machine. Yeah, RAM drives are so fast. It's insane. Yeah, I'm really happy with my Voodoo2 still working. These cards are getting pretty damn expensive again. I've seen SLI sets, both 12 megabytes, going for 400 euros. wonder why all those 500s aren't working. Oh, the manual actually tells us that we can also use the BIOS options for the CPU. Can't find it where to actually set the CPU. Options. But that's okay. Yeah, absolutely. But I'm sure nowadays with those NVMe drives, RAM is actually all that much faster for a RAM drive still. But back in the Vista days, yeah, absolutely. This is taking quite a while. The what was it? I forgot what the other benchmark was called. Not second reality, final reality. CPU is running pretty hot. This one actually comes without an active cooler, so it yeah, feels pretty hot to the touch. Oh, there we go. We got results: 2868 3D marks and 7763 CPU marks. 7763, which is a lot more than the 450. All we need is our final reality. Let's go to that one. Accept external accelerator, fast options. Yes, everything is good. Let's go. See if this turns out a lot faster than the other one. After that, I guess we'll switch to some PCI card testing. I'll be needing to switch the what's it called? The CF card to my DOS card. I've got some test software running on there. Remove the Voodoo2 card and see how they turn out. Yeah, my machines are far from their ultimate configs yet. And I've made a little Discord for the stream, for the bench. In the Discord you can see the parts list for all my stuff. Discord should be linked in the description somewhere. Look at this fancy shit. Yeah, this is some pretty nice DDR3 speeds. I think I was stuck at 1600. Nice. Really feels like Mech Warrior, right? Really looking forward to next week. You should join next week. I've got a nice Ultimate 486 show-off planned. I'm running a DX33, IBM Blue Lighting DX266, Texas Instruments DX280, an AMD DX4100, an AMD 5X86 B75, and an Intel Overdrive, Pentium Overdrive. Yeah, Max Payne. This is a benchmark package actually was built by Remedy. So that's why his little face was over there. That should do it. Pretty much. So I'll need to do a little rebuilding after this. I'm not going to bother with the 500 MHz CPUs anymore. What I do want to do, I have a little Coppermine socket 370-933 lying around. Let's see if we can get that one to work. Nice. Your Remedy's finished as well, right? Press escape to exit. Let's see what we scored and how it matches up. 4.33 and the other one scored 4.01. So we scored a lot better on the 3D and the 2D actually. Let's add it to the database, because why not? The baseline system is a Pentium 150 with an S3 Virge. So this one scores a lot better. Okay, so much for that. Let's shut down Windows. Let's install the little socket 370. Yeah, cool. There's one here. Let's see if the port supports it actually. Let me look up the manual real quick. It should, I think. Where was the overview? Yeah, it should support a 933. So let's see if we can get it to work. Oh, this one is warm. Ooh. Ouch. I should get a little thermal paste into the mix here. Yeah, I've got the fingers are all dirty now. I've actually got a dual socket 370 board. I really need to go clean this. Hold on. Before I put it on everything. I've got a dual socket 370 board with two 933s. Which I haven't really been able to get running properly yet, but that's something for the near future, hopefully. That should be better. Let's just put in a little bit of. It should go in like that, I think. There we go. Let's get this little cooler mounted. Can't see. Sliding all over this place. Oh, you're loose. It's not. Come on. There we go. That's it. Let's see if I can get this to boot. At least the fans spin up. That's already something. I know the CPUs work, but I'm not sure if they work on this board. Our numlock light is on. We don't seem to be getting any picture. Yeah, you've been in a lot deeper than me, mate. Okay. Give it one more shot. Some things to do. Ah, there we go. It's running at 700 megahertz. Let's see if we can get that fixed. No, not the password, go away. Should be able to set the CPU. What the hell is a processor number feature? Oh, there we go. Oh, it's a PCI clock, never mind. There's not in here either. I don't see it. The manual states you should be able to do it like that, but yeah, I think we need to actually do a little jumper manhandling. So we're running at 100 times 7. We should be running at 133 times 7, I think. Yeah. So it detects the multiplier, it's just not properly switching the bus speed. So we will need to only remove jumper 11, which is which one? Jumper 11 is the one closest to the IDE slots. It should be that one. Let's see if that does what we expected. There we go. 933 megahertz. But yeah, since we changed the bus speed, this will also mean the memory speed is different than the other benchmarks, so it might actually be a bit a bit cheaty compared to the other ones. But let's run it anyway, see what happens. Starting with a little GLQuake again. See if it's all that much faster. I think it's mainly the Voodoo2 that's the limiting factor at 800 by 600. And well, since the glide driver is mostly V-synced and I'm running at 60 FPS. Okay, that was interesting. Now what? I didn't get to see the results. Let's try it again. Well, I was saying, since the glide is limited by the V-sync and is running at 60 FPS screen or emulated screen, well, Quake is not really liking it, it would seem. Or is the system not liking it altogether? I don't really have a temp gauge, but it's not all that hot. Let's restart real quick, see if we can get the other benches running. And if not, we'll move back to the 500 or 450 and get on testing some PCI cards. This didn't work out exactly as I hoped, fortunately, but that's okay. No, we don't want the save mode. Windows, go away, scan disk. I think we should try Quake again. Shall we just go to 3D Mark right away? I think I will do Final Reality. Yeah, absolutely. This is even just a compact flash on IDE, so it's still limited by the IDE interface. Let's go. See if this likes the 133 MHz bus. I don't think it does. We were going too fast for Windows 98. Okay, thank you. Yeah, same here. I just for this stream and all this hardware fiddling around, I actually bought a couple of writable CDRs, just so I can actually get some data to the systems if needed. But I'm actually looking for some disk on modules DOMs. Not sure if you know what they are. They're like flash memory that you can plug directly into an IDE slot. So let's remove this unit. I'll clean it later. You weren't really being nice. Oh, we need to put the jumper back, because otherwise we'll be frying our Voodoo2s. No, it's all really modern conveniences for retro hardware enthusiasts, like these compact flash adapters. Let's put the 450 back in, see if we can get it to run again, and then we'll switch over to the... Well, let's already switch over to the DOS disk. Let's pull the Voodoo and the AGP Matrox. Because we'll be going from AGP to PCI for the graphics cards testing. I'm really confused what the hell is and was wrong. Look, there she is. Isn't she pretty? What the hell is going on with those 500 MHz CPUs? Really not sure what's wrong with that. Let's put in our first little card, see what happens. This is an ATI 3D charger, or actually a 3D Rage II. Yeah, it was one of the best experiences I had in gaming. The way that it changed how you experienced 3D games. Let's pull out the Windows 98 CF and put in our little DOS card. Let's see if we can still get it to post. I have way too many cards. There we go. I think I have somewhere along the lines of 50 graphics cards now. We don't need a CDR. But we don't need a mouse either, like this, I think. Let's see. Why is it blue? What shall we do? Let's do a we don't really have a PC info. System information. Let's do the system information. We have got, yeah. Oh, it's actually detecting 510 megahertz. It's VISA compatible. It's not really telling me what it is. That's enough for this. Let's run a 3D Bench 1.0 C. See what happens. $1,623 frames per second. Yeah, I think the CPU is a bit of overkill for this one. See how we're running Doom with a time demo. I don't think this is a proper test for for the video cards. But let's make a little list. Yeah, I've got a DX266, but we'll use that tomorrow. What did the 3D Bench say again? 1600 something, right? Anything else we should run? Let's do the landmark system speed test. Fuck. Really is a bit too old for the system, these benches. So try a little Quake time demo on 64480. Oops. I'm not running the 933 anymore. I'm back to the 450. Man, this brings me back so hard. So that's actually these Quake expansions. I think the one is Dissolution of Eternity. What it was called. Hey, 90. Yeah, this is Quake. You spotted correctly. Dissolution of Eternity it was called, I think. Well, that was we played at multiplayer. And there was this one level where there was a big cave you had to run in down, and I sent my friends down, and they got crushed by this big boulder right away. They really enjoyed that, but not really. .9 FPS. This could probably be something we can work with. Anything else we should test? Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Let's do the PC player benchmark. I'm not sure what it is, but also some funky 3D with billboarded trees. .4. Shall we try a different card? What's next? I think these aren't really stressing the cards, but more the CPU. But next up is a big chunker. Another little Matrox Millennium. See if it boots. These cards all haven't been tested either, so most of them at least. Well, it boots. It boasts, which is a good thing. Yeah, I've never been much for truly optimizing my systems. When it runs, really was enough for me. Let's see, what were the benches we did? We did Doom first. The other one was running at 70, so let's see what this one... Yeah, Matrox were awesome cards, awesome 2D cards, awesome productivity cards, because you had the Matrox dual head cards pretty early on, which supported multiple monitors. It feels faster, but I'm not sure if it is actually faster. No, it wasn't really. It was 69. Very nice. Let's do the 3D bench now. See how well that one is running. I think there's a period in there somewhere, so it wasn't 1621, but it was 162.1. So this one is actually quite a bit higher. Which is good. Now let's do Quake. We did a 640 by 480, right? Yeah. Quake is really taxing the CPU still. Which is fun because with a proper graphics card you could run Quake pretty decently on a Pentium, I think. Maybe not at 640 by 480. Nokia monitors? Never heard about Nokia monitors. But maybe that was a Finland thing. I did have Nokia phone. I still want a proper CRT, like a Ilyama or Sony. I think this is pretty CPU limited. We scored 10.9 the other one, the earlier run. 11.8. Well, improvement. Last one was that PC player bench, right? 644.80. Let's go. Look at all those fancy stars. For some reason this reminds me of the early 3D RTS games like Warzone 2100. It really has that same vibe. 18.4, the exact same as the other one. So, more cards. Let's take a little peek at the system info. What was it? System information 8.0. Still doesn't really detect the card. We didn't try the Chris's 3D benchmark, right? Let's see what that is. Yeah, 4 megabytes. Oh wow, fancy spinning cubes. This looks like the direct 3D tests. Should really put my Voodoo2 back in a anti-static bag. Well, okay, good for you. Let's turn it back off and do the next card. Let's see what else we have. What's that? Biggie Matrox. Oh, nice. We have an S3 Trio 32. It should be a bit slower than the Matrox, I think. Want to put out a guess? Yeah, I did, I think. So, is it slower or faster than the Matrox? What do we say? Let's see if it starts first. Always the question. Doesn't look like it. I was a bit ahead of myself. We do have a numlock, which is odd. try the other PCI slot. I think the other one was in that one. Shouldn't matter, but having a numlock light on usually means stuff is working, but this card is not putting out any VGA signal. So let's, yeah, you're right, mate. Should always use the same slot at least. Well, I guess this card isn't giving me what I want. Let's not waste any time on it now. Let's move on to the next S3 card, which is the S3 Virge. Actually, as you can see, a Diamond Stealth 3D 2000. Yeah, Matrox was one of the 2D winners back in the day. Just like the Tseng Labs were for earlier PCs. Let's see how we are doing. If we are doing anything, there we go. And this is the S3 Virge. This is not the S3 Trio from which didn't enjoy it. Yeah, PCI cards and ISA cards are really let's go with what we started with Doom. 70 FPS or more. I think 72. Those cards were big. That's something I still want to get, maybe a VLB card. I've got this VLB board for 486. 69 again. Ooh, I was wrong. Let's do the 3D bench thingy. See what comes out here. 175.1. Same as the Matrox. See if Quake fares any better. Yeah, I've got these. Let me show you real quick when Quake is done. I've got this FIC board. $82? $82? Can't be right, right? I think we chose the wrong resolution. This isn't 640 by 480. Maybe the card doesn't support 640 by 480. Yeah, I guess it doesn't. Let's get to the system information. also has 4 megabytes of RAM, so it should be fine, but not sure why Quake is being an idiot. Yeah, but that wasn't 640 by 480, so that it's lying. What does C do? It's also 320 by. We can see that. You should be able to see that here. Ah, come on. Don't be a dick. Yeah, this is 320 by 200 even. 4 megabytes should be able to run it in. Hold on, let me quickly show you the VLB board. It's this one. It has 30 and 72 pin, but it's a forest of jumpers. I'm really scared of setting this one up. And it doesn't have a voltage regulator, so it only supports 5-volt CPUs, which kind of limits the CPUs I can put in there. But it's a really nice, it's a pretty nice board. So let's see, what else do we have? We have the player bench. It was the PC player benchmark. Let's see if that one actually runs at 640 by 480. Yeah, looks like it. No, I wonder why Quake didn't. Both other cards scored 18.4 here. That will be 30 actually. Well, that's nice. This one scored 30. Let's try another card then. See what else we got. This is a lot more fun than the CPU testing because this actually works. Next up we have an ATI what? It doesn't say. Let me show you. Can't make out what it actually is. Let me look it up real quick. 264 VT4. Is an ATI Max 64. Not sure what kind of card it is, but we'll see if it works at first. The ATI Max 64, which doesn't seem to be putting out any signal. This was the last ATI 2D card, really. 2 megabytes. 1998. But it's not posting, so let's skip it real quick. You can go on the ATI pile, which is all broken stuff. I think this is the exact same Matrox card, so let's not do this one. grab the other one real quick, see if I'm right about that. Tell me if you see any difference. These look pretty identical, right? They have the same chips. Yeah, not going to bother with an identical card. Hey, we've got another ATI card. Let's see if that one does feel like working. An ATI Rage Pro Turbo. Couldn't have used more words for that. The Rage Pro Turbo. See if it boots. We seem to be having an ATI issue here. Sure thing, go ahead, mate. Won't be going on for that long anymore, but there should be one more card in the box at least. I'm not sure what's happening with the ATI cards, but there's this funny sticker on the back of this one. It says it's an 8 megabyte card, and well, camera please. It's an 8 megabyte card, and someone bought it for 25 guilders, or sold it back in the day. I'm pretty sure these one worked before, but maybe it's just the combination with this board that's being annoying. Finally, we've got yet another Matrox card. It should be a Matrox Millennium 2. It should be a bit faster than the other ones. Looks pretty identical, but let's see what it does. Let's see if it does anything at all. Which it doesn't. Those were actually all my PCI cards. Try and... You know I'm an idiot. I really am an idiot. Let's try all these cards again. I think I actually plugged the end of the Voodoo2 pass-through cable in most of them. Let's try this again, shall we? Let's start off with the first ATI and see if it actually does something. Wow. There we go. Oh, you fucking idiot. Alright, 90. Thanks for hanging out, mate. See you later. This was the... It wasn't the Rage II. What was the one? We have here the Rage Pro Turbo. Only 264. I'm not sure which one this is. Let me take a quick... Yeah, you don't want to do that. The Rage II DVD. It's another Rage II. Which we don't really need to test, I think, because we already tested one. Did we not? Because it didn't work. Oh, yeah, it worked. We don't need to test this one again. So let's turn it off. I have moved the pass-through cable out of sight, out of hand's reach, so it won't be able to bother me again. Let's go and do the, what was it, Rage 64? With the proper cable inserted this time. Well, so still doesn't seem to be, feels like working. Let's put you back in the box and let's try the 3D. What was it? ATI Rage Pro Turbo one more time. Should be a really fast card if it's called the ATI Rage Pro Turbo. There we go. Got it working at least. Yeah, those TNT cards were awesome. I should have a TNT 2 Ultra lying around somewhere. Let's see about Doom. This one has 8 megabytes of VRAM, so it should be better at most games. Yeah, but do they still? It's actually a pretty desirable card nowadays for the retro collectors at least. It looks faster, but it's 71. Okay, a bit faster. 3D bench, so we get another 171, 175.1. Yeah, I think that's the CPU limit for this one. Let's see about Quake in 64480, hopefully this time. Yeah, this looks more like it. Also pretty much the expected speed for this for this resolution. These cards really couldn't handle 64480 properly. I mean, you can't play a shooter like this 10-15 FPS. It's just way too slow. Look, even the recorded demo is missing all the shots. Yeah, PCI cards weren't all that. I've got most of my cards are AGP, so I might actually toss in 1 or 2 as well to see if there's what the difference is. Would be fun, maybe. Got some PCI Express cards I want to sell. 10.9, okay, so it's actually slower than as fast as the ATI Rage II. AGP 8 times is a big upgrade, yeah. Now let's go to the player bench as well. I also got one ISA card, just the Sang ET 4000 AX, which is a pretty awesome DOS card. 18.4. It's also exactly the same as the ATI Rage II. So let's try the Millennium 2. Finally. And then maybe toss in 1 or 2 AGP cards to see if that really makes a lot of difference. If it boots at all, yeah, there we go. We'll start off with Doom again. It's actually good material for my sales. Can just refer them to the VOD. Look, these cards are working. I'll show you. 70.6. The 3D bench will probably stick to 175.1 again. Yep. So that's probably the CPU limit or the hard limit on the bench at all. Let's see about Quake then. That didn't look really good. Oh, it does work. Matrox cards weren't really 3D cards proper. So nice. Yeah, I've got a couple of PCIe cards. I've got the 2 8800 GTs, which Night Dweller sent me. I think I've got an X1650. And some other junk. Some GeForce FX cards. Which weren't really good back in the day and still aren't. I don't think this is really improving much. Yeah, the AGP cards were more 3D oriented than the PCI cards, I think. .8 on Quake. Actually ties it with the regular Matrox. So let's finally do the player bench and then toss in an AGP card or two. Really weird that the S3 scored so much higher on the player bench, but didn't want to run Quake in 640 480. Also 18.4. Maybe that player bench thing was a quirk. Right. Let's see about a little AGP. Let me show you my big box of AGP cards. I actually have a Matrox AGP card, so that's fun. This is all my AGP. I'll pull out the Matrox, which is also a Millennium. Maybe that will be interesting. Let's see if I can find anything else that might be interesting. An S3 Savage 4. An ATI something. What's an ATI? Let's try it. And let's see what else we have. This is too new. Another Matrox. You're too new. You're too new. Should really try and focus on the proper HP cards. It's another ATI Rage 128, I think it is. So, hey, Raz, buddy. Coming to us live from the hospital. How are you doing, buddy? Let's put it in the proper slot and see if we can get a little bit of video footage going. This is, what is this? This is the S3 Savage 4. The Savage card for a Savage streamer. Well, stuff is happening, but there we go. Take care, buddy. Don't stress out too much. That's all I can say, really. I know, mate. I know. We've been talking about this quite a bit. Type anymore. Let's start off with a bit of Doomy Zoomy. This card has 32 megs of memory, so I'm not sure what that means for all these games. This isn't really a DOS card anymore. That's good, mate. Good. You didn't really miss all that much. My slot 1 CPUs weren't really working. Still just 70 FPS. It felt fast, but it wasn't. think we were already running into CPU limits. Yep, this definitely a CPU limit. Quake might actually turn out better. Look at that. That is fast. Now we see real 3D acceleration on the cards. Doubled? No, quadrupled, mate. We hit 11 on the other one. Now we're 41.9. I guess the player bench will run 18.4 again. Quakey. Good old Quakey. Yes, we're also running into a limit on this one. Let's stick to testing Quake because this isn't really doing anything. Right. Next up, we have. So this is really proper evolution in 3D acceleration. This is 3 Savage 4. Let's see how far we can get in Quake. Let's try the ATI something. It's also Radeon 128. Let's see what that does. See if it does anything. Well, that's a good start. Type anymore. Let's see what it can tell me about the system. Or nothing. Not sure if the system information can actually work with HP cards. Looks like it doesn't really like that. Let's do a quickie reboot. And run Quake right away. Oh man, I'm really looking forward to next week's Soccer 3 show off. Going to run pretty much the same benches, I think. But then with a lot of different CPUs. Let's go Quakey. Yeah, it's also a lot faster. So I have 2 ATI Rage 128s. I have don't think I'll need to test them both. Nice, that's an awesome card. 29.7 on the ATI Rage 128. What I think I would really like is eventually, as a museum piece, maybe one or two of those dual GPU units. That's insane. Yeah, pretty much like my 4080 now. Okay. A Matrox AGP card. Shouldn't be all that good in the 3D department because it's a Matrox card. If it posts all together, it does. It looks a bit green, doesn't it? This is really white. That's odd. Is it me or is it looking a bit greenish? The text. Come on. Let's go quickie. Yeah, this is not that fast, but it's really green. Everything is green. It's like someone has put a green filter on everything. I'm going to see if I can find another interesting card. This is another Matrox. I need you. This is a 9800 Pro. I don't need you either. Because what are you? Probably way too new, but we'll see about this one. No, this isn't the cable. The cable is fine. Okay, got three more interesting cards. Last ones. 11.8 on the Matrox, which is actually identical to the PCI Matroxes. Welcome front, Razzie. Yeah, I've been wiggling. That didn't change. We have a probably way too new Asus V7100, which is, what is it? It's a GeForce 2 MX. I think it's way too new for the system. We'll see if it even works. This is a universal AGP card, so it should work on this slot. It does boot good. It should be the fastest by far from these cards. You see, it's not green anymore, so it really was the card. Yeah, that was HP, that wasn't the PCI, yeah. Let's go, Quakey. See how fast you can go. Well, really? This is slower than an S3 Savage 4? I didn't expect that. It shouldn't be all that. Yeah, but it can't be bottlenecked if the S3 Savage ran at 40 frames per second. Oh, excuse me. Hit the microphone there. I've also got an ASUS A7000, which is a Radeon 7000 card, a Nvidia Fanta 16, and this is, what is this? I don't know, actually, a diamond something, but I can't really identify it. 11.8 again. It's really warm, the card. Let's do the Nvidia Fanta, which I don't expect too much of. It's really a budget card. Well, it's actually a TNT2 M64, so the budget TNT2. Okay. This is pretty. Wow. Yeah, that's what Jensen said, right? Yeah, this would have made a pretty nice sound on the CRT. Let's try one more time. It's also a bit on the green side. This resolution is fine, but when it switches... Oh, okay. Then we're good. But the colors are way off, so it isn't. I think this will be very interesting to see if it survives the Quake test. That's dark. I really don't get what you're going at. It's just not displaying the red, it would seem. You think so? The red is just completely missing. It's just everything that's supposed to be red is black. There's a little blue in there, but no red. All the reds are gone. Got me bastards, right? Yeah. I think it's going to hit 11.8. It is 11.8. I think 11.8 is when the CPU is actually faster than the graphics card. So you go away. You are a shit graphics card. I don't think anybody wants to buy you. Let's go to the ATI. Or the Asus A7000. Really wondering why it's only the S3 Savage 4 that actually hit a higher FPS. You might have to do that again. Oh, this was so fast. It was running before it actually showed some image over the capture device. They do? Well, I have an NVIDIA card, so that's okay with me. 29.6 on the feels faster, right? Wait, what's this? Was this 64480 or was this 320? I can't tell. But we can tell. Hold on. Yeah, there we go. See that? 320 by 200. That explains. Apparently these cards don't support those Visa modes. And they're just being an idiot. These cards are all probably DirectX optimized and OpenGL. And not software rendering. I think software rendering only uses CPU. So I guess when we check out this the S3 Savage, it also shows it's running at 320 by 240 or 200. This one isn't even going to work, it would seem. Right, well, I guess on that terrible disappointment, it is time to end the show. We've had some ups and downs. We've had some working and not working cards and CPUs. And well, I had fun. Didn't really turn out the way I wanted it, but let's save that luck for next week. Because next week we'll be doing the Ultimate Soccer 3 Showdown. Thanks, mate. I try to be efficient because I've got a lot to test. Let me show you real quick what next week will be about. This are the showpieces of next week. We have the DX33, the IBM Loom Lightning DX266, Texas Instruments DX280, the AMD DX4 100, the AMD 5X86 P75 running at 133 MHz, and the Intel Overdrive 83. So yeah, really looking forward to that. I've tested them all, they are all working, and they will be running in, let me grab it real quick, in this Zeta 4 DPS motherboard with 32 megabytes of fast-paced memory and the Sang ET4000 card, which I'm not sure where I left it, so I'll need to find it before next week, but that should be fine. Right, thanks for watching, guys. I had fun, a lot of fun chatting. Wouldn't have been the same without you. Hope to see you next week. Yeah, it's full. Cache is fully populated. So we'll be doing pretty much the same benches, but with CPUs. Well, next week I meant with those units. So thanks very much. See you again next week, hopefully. Raz, I expect you to be out of the hospital next week. And have a very good night. Rest up, mate. Yeah, exactly. No more CPU bottlenecks. Should be fine. Thanks, and see you around, guys. Ciao, ciao.